Now, throughout the years in the NFL, many superstars were actually forced to switch positions, forever changing the future of the NFL. Now, although Richard Sherman became legendary on the defensive end of the ball, it actually didn't start out like that for him. He's originally from Compton, California, where he attended Dominguez High School, starring in football as a wide receiver. And as a senior in 2005, he accounted for 1,030 all-purpose yards, including 870 yards on 28 catches, and 3 punt returns for touchdowns. He also recorded 45 tackles, 8 pass breakups, and 1 interception as a defensive back, and he helped carry Dominguez to a CIF Southern Section Division III title with a 41-14 victory in the championship game. And he graduated from Dominguez High School in 2006, and his classmates even voted him as male student most likely to succeed. Now, after originally committing to UCLA, Sherman received an athletic scholarship to attend Stanford University, where he played for the Stanford Cardinal football team from 2006 to 2010. He began his career at Stanford as a wide receiver, and he led the Cardinals in receiving as a freshman in 2006, while also being named a freshman All-American. Now, in the 2006 season, he had 34 receptions for 581 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns, but it was after suffering a knee injury that he requested a position change to cornerback, and his wish was inevitably granted, and that's been the only place he's played since. Now, up to this point, Sherman played most of his NFL career for the Seahawks, where he excelled at the cornerback position all the way until present day. He even nearly broke the internet after he deflected a pass from Colin Kaepernick, which was intended for Michael Crabtree in an NFC Championship game. Instantly after that game with his play, Sherman said,
"Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get. Don't you ever talk about me. Don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna shut it for you real quick. LOB."
He even spoke about it again the next day, bringing up Crabtree again, saying, "I don't like people saying negative things about me. I don't like people running their mouth." So I told him, good game and good try, but I'm the best corner in the league. And in the 2018 offseason, Sherman signed a 3-year, $39 million deal with the 49ers, and they're looking pretty good. They're a young team on the rise, with Sherman on the defensive end excelling once again, as well as their star quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo taking care of things on the offensive end. Now, Julian Edelman is definitely a player that's made a name for himself over the years, especially playing alongside Tom Brady, but being a wide receiver isn't something he's always been. Julian Edelman originally grew up in Redwood City, California, and at the time, he was a quarterback for Woodside High School. As a senior, he even led the Wildcats to a 13-0 record in 2004. Now, throughout his high school career, Edelman had 2,237 yards and 29 touchdowns passing, in addition to 964 yards and 13 touchdowns rushing. After high school, Edelman spent a year attending the College of San Mateo, and there he threw for 1,312 yards and 14 touchdowns, and rushed for a school record of 1,253 yards with 17 touchdowns. He then transferred to Kent State University, and there Edelman was the leading passer, completing 56% of his passes, throwing 13 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. He was also the leading rusher, gaining 1,370 yards on 215 attempts and scoring 13 touchdowns. But all in all, his total offense actually broke Joshua Cribb's single-season school record set in 2003. But after being drafted by the Patriots in 2009, Edelman felt the right thing to do was switch from a quarterback to a punt returner and a wideout, playing for this organization. But he's played every snap of his career with them, including being a part of their 3 Super Bowl wins, and he's excelled at his newly found role. After winning Super Bowl 53 and being named Super Bowl MVP, Edelman spoke about the award, saying, "It's an absolute honor to get this award, but honestly, I'm just so proud of this group of guys we had this year. The ups and downs we had just with the ebbs and flows of the season. Play a whole year and you see how a team shapes up. See how this team grinded and worked each week. When things weren't at its best, constantly try to go out and improve. It just shows what kind of group of guys it was this year. The 2018 Patriots, a resilient group. One that you're never going to forget. It was unbelievable." Edelman was then asked to talk about playing offense and special teams, and he said, "Special teams is what allowed me to get an opportunity to play in this league. And I take that with a lot of pride. Playing on that unit, you change your mindset. You prepare each week, you learn the punter, what he does, his strengths, his weaknesses, where his tendencies are, and then you get into these offensive meetings and you turn on a different switch and start preparing." Now, when it comes to the legendary Devin Hester, he was originally born in Riviera Beach, Florida, and he began playing football at a young age. But in high school, Hester played football as a cornerback, wide receiver, return specialist, and running back. It's unheard of when it comes to one player playing so many positions, but with Devin doing so, he eventually earned the recognition from superprep.com as the top high school prospect in Florida, and they even named Hester on the All-American team. Hester also participated in the 2002 Cali, Florida Bowl, where he returned a kick for an 80-yard touchdown, and that's where he showed the world his potential. After completing high school, Hester attended the University of Miami, where he played for the Miami Hurricanes from 2003 to 2005. During his freshman year, Hester returned an opening kick for a 98-yard touchdown against the Florida Gators. As a sophomore in 2004, he earned national recognition as a kick returner. He was known for his ability to break away from the other team, which made him one of the nation's most dangerous return specialists. In a game against Duke in 2005, Hester broke 6 tackles while returning an 81-yard punt. Hester completed his college career with a total 6 touchdowns from kick returns, even including 1 blocked field goal return. He also scored 1 rushing touchdown and receiving touchdown, and recorded 5 interceptions as a defensive back, and Hester became the first football player in the Miami Hurricanes history to play on the special, offensive, and defensive teams. He also returned a punt for a clutch 83-yard game-winning touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals, which gave the Bears the lead in a comeback win and 2 kickoff returns in 1 game against the St. Louis Rams. Now, Hines Ward is not only a player who switched positions upon entering the NFL, but with him growing up in Seoul, South Korea, and eventually moving to East Point, Georgia, he actually excelled at another sport first before making a name for himself in football. But growing up, Ward went to Forest Park High School in Forest Park, Georgia, where Ward showcased his skills as a quarterback and became a 2-time Clayton County Offensive Player of the Year. He excelled so hard in baseball at the time that he was selected by the Florida Marlins in the 73rd round of the 1994 Major League Baseball draft. But when it came to football, Hines switched to a wide receiver going into his freshman year of college. And as a wide receiver for the Georgia Bulldogs, Ward's 149 career receptions for 1,965 yards placed him at 2nd in team history. In 1996, Ward had 52 receptions for 900 yards and also ran 26 times for 170 yards. In 1997, he hauled in 55 passes for 715 yards and scored 6 touchdowns while also rushing 30 times, getting all SEC honors in the process. Now, Ward also played some quarterback his sophomore year, and he actually holds Georgia Bull's game record for pass attempts, pass completions, and passing yards in the 1995 Peach Bowl, where he completed 31 of 59 passes for 413 yards. But leading into his NFL career, Hines went in a different direction to become legendary, where he became a receiver after being selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 3rd round of the 1998 NFL Draft. He eventually played his entire 12-year career with them, even breaking many records and helping them win a Super Bowl. On November 13, 2005, Ward became the Steelers' all-time leading receiver with his 538th catch against the Browns, and during that same year, he helped lead the Steelers to Super Bowl 40, which they won, and Ward was named MVP. Ward actually talked about winning a Super Bowl MVP, saying, "I mean, it was so giggly like a kid, you know? A 3rd rounder back from 1998. I never thought I'd be recognized as one of the great players to wear the black and gold." So seeing my picture up there amongst some of the great fraternity of brothers that wore the uniform before me as some that I played with, it was just awesome. It's kind of just cool knowing your legacy will last forever in the Hall of Honor, and just seeing my face among the many greats wearing the black and gold, it's awesome. He appeared in 3 Super Bowls total, going 2-1 in his career, and after a Hall of Fame career in Pittsburgh, he eventually called it quits in 2011. Now, something you definitely didn't know because of how iconic Odell has been throughout his NFL career up to this point is the fact that he didn't always play the wide receiver position or even dedicate all of his time to football growing up. It started with Odell growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He attended Isidore Newman School, where he eventually became a letterman in football, basketball, and track. In football, he played wide receiver, quarterback, running back, and cornerback for the Greenies football team. As a junior, he caught 45 passes for 743 yards and 10 touchdowns, while also adding 3 more scores on the ground. As a senior, he hauled in 50 catches for 1,010 yards and 19 touchdowns, joining Cooper Manning as the only 2 players in school history to record 1,000 receiving yards in a season. In addition, he rushed for 331 yards and 6 touchdowns, passed for 90 yards and a score, and also averaged 30 yards per punt return. As a standout track and field athlete, Beckham followed in his mother's footsteps to excel in the sprinting and jumping events while at Newman High School. This is where he took silver in the long jump event at the 2010 Newman Invitational with a career best leap of 6.83 meters. But with Odell combining all the skills he accumulated playing so many sports, it makes sense why his athletic ability today is unmatched. And Beckham even played soccer growing up as well. He considers David Beckham one of his childhood idols. Ever since Odell was drafted into the NFL, he instantly became known for his one-of-a-kind catching ability. It is obvious he gained the necessary skills from excelling at multiple sports growing up. But with that being said, OBJ of course excelled in many different aspects of football as well, including playing positions outside of what he's most known for. But interestingly enough, teams he's been a part of professionally haven't forgotten the very important detail about him. That's exactly why while he was with the Giants and of course the Browns, teams would sometimes resort to trick plays where Odell would get the ball and then turn into the quarterback of the possession instead. Odell's actually thrown for multiple touchdowns doing so as well. Hey bro, what are you doing? Click on this video. This man's is really wearing a Rolex right now in an NFL game? Nah, bro. Nah. You gotta click on this video. I gotta click on this video. Let's watch it.